with your host, Ben Holst. Tonight, Ben's guests are professional buffoon Lucky Yates, Volume's own genius, and musical superstar Riley Schatz. And now, here's your host, Ben Holst.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Wow, it feels great to have a studio audience again after all this time on my first show ever. So welcome to Amplified. This is our show about all things volume and entertainment and otherwise. Sort of a mixture of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood meets Wayne's World meets Entertainment Tonight meets the news, kind of, and not really so much the last part. But anyhow, tonight we're going to have a good time. I've got some really special friends and some new friends from across the pond that are going to be joining us. We've got a musical guest. My friend Jamie Cones is here running all the spaceship devices. And we're just having a great time here from Atlanta on a Sunday night. So we, exactly, whatever he said. So we invite you to join us at our new studio and get ready for the ride. All right, welcome back. We're here today. Joining us is Lucky Yates, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, Lucky.
Hi. I was just under the table looking for spare change.
Man, well, did you get any?
Yeah, there was about $1.38 down there.
Sounds about right. Well, welcome to the show.
It doesn't sound about right.
Oh, that's more than I
There's
usually find
usually a
in
lot of spare change under the tables here.
You know, it's sort of a revolving cast of
Ben, first of
special
all,
people.
thank you for inviting me on this, and then secondly, congratulations on this, your talk show. This is a
Thank you.
brilliant idea. I think this is a wonderful use of your talents, and I think you are the perfect man to have Volume's bitchin' chat show.
Well, thank you for having me on my show, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're certainly welcome for me having you on your show.
Well, so far it's going pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I think it's great. Your announcer was great, but I think he might have been a little drunk. I'm not sure.
It was a little weird.
Who
So,
was that weird man? Yes, sir.
I don't know.
I'm here.
Thank you. Okay, so Lucky Yates.
That's me.
I have to tell you, we had
Please.
this conversation the other day about
Listening.
you being my first guest, and I said, Lucky, I got to be honest with you. You're a celebrity.
Well,
And-
that is a strong word.
Well, so our friend Lucky here is on a show called Archer. It's
Archer,
an
yes.
animated show.
It's not the Green Arrow show. That was called Arrow.
But you guys have been on the air now for what, 10 years?
12.
12.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Nobody thought we would be going this long.
For 12 years.
Yeah, it's amazing. In this last season there's still an episode to record, but then we're done. But we also just lost Jessica Walter, so that sucks. But yeah, it's amazing. It's been so great. And like Krieger is, I wouldn't want to play anyone else on the show.
Tell me more about Dr. Krieger.
Dr. Krieger, Dr. Algernon Krieger is my character's name, and it's a spy agency, very much like James Bond. It's like,
Right.
what if the Majesty's Secret Service that Bond is a part of was an American outfit, freelance American outfit, and our James Bond is just an American asshole.
Got it.
And so it's at this little spy agency, and I'm the Q. I'm the research and development guy who invents crazy means to, crazy ways to kill people.
Yeah,
but he's
to get
also
the
a
job
weird,
done, right?
yeah, and he's also a weird, like
He's a little
he
deviant.
dabbles in mad science. He builds cyborgs. He will make, he will put living flesh around a cyborg skeleton. And,
Yeah, what are some of the other, what have been some of your favorite hijinks and sort
of Krieger's
works of science that he's
I
had to pull
mean,
off?
his animal-human hybrids are pretty brilliant. But
Okay.
he also built a sentient, his girlfriend, well, not anymore, they broke up, but he built a sentient hologram who gained, not only gained sentience, but also is like now out in the world
Just
on her
on-
own. I don't
okay.
know how without a control box, but
So, but completely rogue.
she's like he deals in super science, which I'm a huge fan of.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What-
It's really great. If they had come to me first and said you can play any character in the show,
You were like,
which
this
was,
is my
I was
guy.
like, oh, Krieger's my guy. Yeah.
How, in all the years, how has he sort of evolved?
Oh, I mean, he started as just like nothing. He was started as a silent character, and then they needed another guest for this dinner date episode Adam had written, was writing, and so he's like, well, I'll just make it that Krieger will go. And
So they
then
said,
they just,
"Oh, give him a little bit more,
They
give
just
him a little
pulled
bit
me
more."
in and just was like, yeah. And then Adam had fun writing the guy, and everybody liked him, so he
he
just
kinda
kept going. And it was the same with Pam, which Amber Nash plays, Atlanta's own Amber Nash.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you. So, some of the cast is here in Atlanta,
Yeah.
which is where we are today,
Yes,
and
the show is made here.
and it's made here.
Yeah.
All the animation stuff, and some of the cast is elsewhere.
Yeah, New York and L.A. We're all over the place.
So now, and I'll let the audience know that I was the recording engineer on some of the Atlanta dialogue for a couple of
Yes.
seasons.
Yeah.
But like, I still don't even know the other cast. I
Right.
only worked with you guys. So
Yeah.
like, how does that work where you're playing off of each other, but also piecing it together? For those
We
that
don't, yeah, I mean,
don't
at this
understand how it works.
point, like, 12 seasons in, you kind of know how the other characters are going to probably, say lines and stuff like that. But also,
So some of
our
it's-
directors will read us into lines to make it seem more natural. And it's all the magic of the editors, man. The sound editors on this show are just phenomenal.
So they'll pick some of the takes.
They
And,
choose
or
whatever,
all.
the director and them get together and they pick the best. And I mean, we do each line. Yeah, we just do it. We record line by line. So
Can you give because I mean, again, you and I are kind of on the inside of how it works, but
Yeah.
can you give our audience an example of let's say I gave you a line that said, "I never get recognized at the grocery store."
Yeah, okay, yeah. So,
So
you're
how-
just like,
in-
all right,
as
Krieger's
Krieger,
like,
how
yeah,
would
he's
you do that
like,
differently?
I never get recognized in the grocery store. I never get recognized in the grocery store. I never get recognized at the grocery store. Like, there's just, depending on the thing, but I'll
love
do
that.
maybe all of those, because they'll just I'm just in there. You do one kind of just, you try to go plain, and then I just do a big variety
Well, there's
of
the middle,
lines.
and
I
then
mean,
there's
it has to match the circumstance. I can't just go completely off thing. Although Krieger, if anybody is going to sort of give an opposite read to what the situation is, Krieger can get away with it the most because he's the weirdo on the show.
But would you say he's a contrarian, or is he just
No, not at all.
predictable?
No,
Or
he's just a
weirdo?
wild card. Yeah,
Okay.
he's just weird. Like, you never know. Like, everything might have a sinister or creepy undertone to it. You never know. He works with corpses and shit like that.
Right,
So
right,
it's like
yeah.
there's just a weird. Yeah, he's dark science, right? He's doing gross, weird things that could potentially undo mankind and civilization as we know it. Just because he can do it.
'Cause he can
oh
figure it
yeah,
out,
fuck,
yeah.
this is great. Yeah.
So how and of the couple episodes that I worked on, right? So the show season to season gets a different environment, right? Or a different sort of
Well,
you're on an island, you're in outer
we
space,
were
or-
genre hopping while Sterling was in a coma, but he's out of the coma now. So now we're back in New York at the spy agency.
Okay,
And
so
we're-
it's
and
kind
we're-
of like a full
yeah,
circle
yeah,
in a
yeah.
sense.
And I don't know how much I can say about this season, but we're getting into the modern spy game. We were doing everything really old school, and
So now you guys have
now
internet.
we're well, we've always had internet. That's the great thing about the universe that it's in, is that Adam designed it to just be the coolest of all the things, but he kind of stopped with 90s computer tech.
Okay.
Right? That
So it's-
was the end. There's no modern day laptops or there wasn't anyway. I think that stuff is going to start bleeding into it a little more. We can start doing updated things, but for a very long time, people were always like, when is this? When is this show supposed to be? And it's just It's just an era of all the coolest shit.
Yeah, so
The stuff
none
that
of it
Adam
is
really
time
liked. Yeah.
stamped so much. And they
No, it's
pull.
just like, he's gonna grab the costume stylings of the early '60s with cars from the early '70s, and it's gonna be computer tech from the '90s.
Right.
You know, it's just like a mishmash of all the things that are like, this is the best version of that, or the most hilarious version of that, depending on what it is. Yeah, but who knows? Who knows?
However ridiculous it
Yeah.
can be in any given moment. Now,
Right.
we were talking before the show, and you were telling me about the photo that we used, and in fact, the T-shirt that you're wearing.
Well, I'm wearing the same jacket. I think the photo that was in the card
Yeah.
on the coming up soon. Look at how dapper you are up there on that screen with that. I haven't talked about your
that's great,
ascot yet,
'cause
and
we're
we
on a
will.
loop, so we can watch
and
where
look
we
at
just
me.
were.
And look at me. I'm wearing a T-shirt. You're wearing an ascot, and
Yeah.
I am.
Well, it's my show.
I feel like I should have dressed up. I
you know.
apologize for not taking
I
this more
didn't-
seriously, although I did want to
I
represent
knew what you
myself.
would wear, and that's why I didn't send you the memo.
I knew what you would wear.
No, so
I could have asked.
tell me about the relationship.
Okay,
like the
so in the
Comic-Con thing.
card,
I don't know
you
anything about
happen to
Comic-Con.
pick a picture of me. I'm assuming it's in the last few years, because I'm
Yeah.
wearing this same jacket, and I haven't owned this jacket that long. I'm wearing a different
It looks
pin
pretty-
in that
it still
picture.
looks pretty fresh.
Yeah, I take care of my stuff for the most part. Anyway, I also got. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
Frankenstein, or Frankenstein,
It's
depending on where
Frankenstein.
you- yeah.
I'm pretty sure that that card was a picture taken at Comic-Con. There it is, right there. I'm almost
yeah.
positive or no, maybe that's WonderCon.
Thanks,
I don't know
Jamie.
what that logo is in the back. That's one of the cons. And I got this shirt at San Diego Comic-Con from my favorite toy company called Super 7. They make bitchin' little action figures.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's so good about
I'm an action figure nerd.
Is it the way the arms?
They
fit? They have the right
they
guns?
do. They have several different lines. They have a 3 3/4 5 points of articulation line. Yeah,
makes you
this
feel
is
more
brilliant.
comfortable,
That's Gort from the Day the Earth Stood Still. I love how this is an actual metal and
Yeah.
heavy as shit. And almost as flexible as the real life Gort costume. That's
Yeah,
cool.
you show
Oh,
'em
sorry.
too.
Yeah,
This
so
is
I
what
should have.
this-
I should have done that.
Whoever this is, all right.
That's Gort. That's have you ever seen the Evil Dead movies?
I think I've seen some of one of them.
The magic words, something Barada Nikto, that are uttered in that are from that film. Those are the commands that Gort gets to, like, hey Gort, fuck everybody up, like with your laser eyes.
There he is.
Yeah,
That's
there
why
he
I put the
is.
costume
He's a
tape on him,
protector
'cause he's
robot. Yeah,
probably
he is.
pretty
He's
tough.
very dangerous.
Yeah.
He stands silently watch over a UFO for most of the film until the alien guy is in a lot of trouble, and then Gort goes to town.
Well, I'll have to do some homework on Gort.
I think I just did your homework for you.
Tell me about Comic-Con.
Let me tell you about the Day the Earth Stood Still. They tried to remake it with Keanu Reeves, and it just, come on, man. You can't. Why don't remake the
Keanu
classics?
Reeves is
Don't remake the classics. I
He's an
love
actor?
Keanu Reeves. He is an actor.
okay, cool.
Yes, Keanu Reeves is an American movie actor.
Okay.
He's probably done some television. He's the type of. He's very humble.
Okay. Was he that surf guy?
Yeah,
He had
he like has a kind of a surfer
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
okay,
he was in the Point Blank movie.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
about surfing bank robbers.
Does he go to Comic-Con?
He probably does. He probably goes.
How does-
when there was a Comic-Con.
How is it that, like, so I know that's like a whole world. We've got Dragon Con here in Atlanta. You
We
got
do.
Comic-Con in
We
San
do.
Diego.
I have to think, but
What's that whole scene like? 'Cause
it's
I'm completely
insane.
ignorant
It's
to it.
insane, and it's become so giant that I feel like it can't possibly sustain.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it just keeps expanding?
Yeah, and like cons become so packed that it's almost not fun anymore. You know what I mean?
I think
'cause
it's a similar thing
this,
happened to,
it's
like-
oh God, you gotta walk through a mass of just humanity to get anywhere, to do anything and try to see
Right.
anything. And also, and I love like San Diego Comic-Con, but it was once about comic books, and it's not really about that. Now it's a TV and movie trade show,
Right,
which
so it's more
is
like a
a
market
fine
almost?
thing. Yeah, it's a big marketing blitz for
Okay.
every studio and a network,
Yeah.
which is fine and dandy. It's not why that convention was originally created, but that is what it has become. But it's a weird thing. Like, most of the attendees are there to either shop on the floor, which is just a giant mall.
Right. It's a convention center.
It's a convention center, and then they go and watch live panels. But so it's a lot of waiting in line and a lot of shopping at a mall for normal people. And I feel like both of those things are now being done online. They're doing all of it online. They're doing panels on. And I was always thinking, I was like, this thing it's getting so big and uncomfortable. Like the last time we were there, as the world became a little kookier, there were like genuine security threats that started going like, oh, this is a giant mass of people. That's something. So they were like snipers. Like one of the last ones we were at, there were just snipers posted everywhere around the rooftops of San Diego, around the convention center. It was like, okay, this is getting weird. Like,
would you think that if they regionalized that a little bit, like if I could go to like
it
the
is
South,
regionalized. That's the thing, is everybody's got their giant cons, and those all do well too. And that's the thing, is it's so big, and there's so many of them that I feel like it can't sustain its thing. And now that the world has had to shut down for a year and a half, or a year, we're just crossed a year.
Maybe we're in the clear of these
but
cons.
We're not necessarily in the clear. Like, there's not a San Diego one in August. I know that.
Well, I have a serious question for you.
What?
And that might answer it. Would you consider doing a DuberCon?
Oh,
because I want to hear a little bit about
DuberCon happens.
DuberCon
happens whenever Duber is on air, and that is not necessarily any time.
So that's a way to have cons where
I've got to figure out a Duber show time.
Duber actually reduces some of that thing by having shows at times when he doesn't announce. So you can control the crowds. So
Yes.
That's probably one.
It's random so that people, that not too many people are here.
So,
Is anybody saying anything out there?
We've got a bunch of
We're getting
guests in the
tips.
chat.
People
We're
are throwing.
watching you guys.
Mark's dropping tips.
We see,
CNN's dropping Gates
Look at
stories.
this. So we've got Greg out there. We've all seen this guy, Greg. He shows up
Greg,
in all the
it's his
chats.
birthday.
It's his birthday.
Happy birthday,
Greg, happy birthday. Good to see you out there in the chat. There he is. Oh, there's my buddy Greg Smith.
To you.
Happy birthday to
you. This is the best. Happy birthday, dear Gregory. Happy birthday to you. Oh, that was.
Happy birthday, Greg.
That was. You deserve much better than that.
Well, yeah. Well, you'll
I
get it.
apologize.
So it's good seeing you, everybody. Who out there in the chat?
Why
has
is
seen
that
the
song
Duber
so
show?
hard? We can sing that song now without fear because its rights have gone. It's finally gone into the public domain.
It's
Up
the
until like
starting
2 years ago, you had to pay royalties if that thing appeared in a movie.
Yeah.
Somebody owned the Happy Birthday song.
Yeah.
The ubiquitous American Happy Birthday song. Somebody had a copyright on that thing.
They got lucky. If anybody knows who that person is in the chat, we want to see so we can go find them.
Oh well, we don't want to do that. I'm sure they are. Like the original person is long since passed.
Well, yeah, the legacies.
Their estate, perhaps, but we're not going to do anything bad to them.
So,
congratulations on owning it for so long. That's
yeah,
what I
right.
say.
Congrats,
That's
guys.
why Chi-Chi's chain restaurant had to have its own version.
Yeah, and become a
happy birthday, happy birthday.
So,
happy birthday.
Does Duber have one?
To you. Olay! That was the Chi-Chi's birthday
Did you
song.
work there?
Never.
You never worked there.
I
You
just
for your
went there
birthday.
enough that people, if somebody said that it was,
Jamie knows- yeah, Jamie
that it
worked
was
there?
their birthday,
All
they
right,
would
Jamie
bring
worked
that person a fried ice cream, and so we would always say it was somebody's birthday in the group.
Just so they could get.
And I heard that song so many times.
Jamie is a former Chi-Chi's employee. What role did you have there?
I was a server in college.
Did I nail that song, Jamie?
You did.
Jamie's our producer. For those of you who can't see him. Oh man, he's having some PTSD right now.
Look at
I'm
my-
sorry. We'll figure out how to fix that.
Apparently you know what Chi-Chi's means in Spanish.
No.
It's something.
Oh,
it means
Chi-Chi's.
boobs.
Lee. Like yeah.
It means
Little
titties.
Young ones, small ones.
Cha-cha.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, little bitties.
So it's a small
Itty
one.
bits.
So now there's a little bit of Chi-Chi's trivia for you guys
Itty
out
bitty
there.
Chi-Chi committee.
Yeah. So tell me, Lucky.
I'll tell you anything, Ben.
Lucky has
Except
a
my social security
a
number.
show
You've
called
been trying to get that from me for years,
Oh,
and I
no,
don't understand
I'll
why.
get that. I'll have to direct message you for that. But so
You have so many times.
you have a show called Duber Time.
I do.
And-
Burr
and-
time.
And there are some people out here. So one of Lucky's very first show. Oh, my godson's in the chat. Good to see you guys. So one
Your
of,
godson is in the chat.
yeah, there he is, Charlie Craver, 23. I
Hello,
guess he's
Charlie.
posing as a 23-year-old. So he
Are
can get in on
you
the
a
chat.
23-year-old, or are you the 23rd Charlie Craver that joined Volume?
Oh man, well he could probably. It's the website's young enough. You might be able to get Chuck Craver.
Look at this
That's a good
great
one.
shot, though. We should have a news program. You promised news at the top of the show.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. I want to hear about the Duber
What's
show.
your favorite news item going on right now?
God, I bailed
Prince
on
Philip,
I bailed on
the
the
death
news.
of Prince Philip,
No.
spry Prince Philip.
I don't
He was
know,
only a prince.
You're catching me really off guard.
The 99-year-old man had to walk around and say, "I'm a prince."
Yeah, I know. I missed all that. There was tornadoes somewhere, I think.
Oh yeah, well, isn't there always?
Yeah, hopefully none of you in the chat were affected by the tornadoes that I missed.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle's skipping the
Meghan Markle's not going to the funeral. She says her doctor said, "Don't do it."
Are you going to?
Riley Schatz is going to the funeral. Are you going to the wedding?
Oh,
The Queen's new wedding? She's already got a man lined up?
No, but Meghan Markle's pregnant. She can't go.
Meghan
Oh,
Markle
okay.
is having another baby.
No,
Archie's getting a sibling.
so she is someone in,
That's
in
my
the royal
favorite news.
family.
Meghan Markle?
yeah.
She's Prince Harry's wife, and they stopped being royal people.
Okay.
They quit. They quit the royal game and moved to America, where they've got so many show offers.
That is
The best
so
idea
boring.
ever.
I
Why
can't-
would they not? Who wants to be a dumb prince anymore? Like, come on, man. Why does that still exist? It's silly.
I don't know.
Give it up, England. It's silly.
It's beyond me. I don't
It's
know. If,
silly.
Maybe somebody in the
What is
chat
this?
has answers
What,
for us.
a monarchy? That's what we're going with still?
I don't
You're
know.
going to try to hit that empire again? Don't want that sun to set, do
Yeah,
you?
I don't know. I think I'm getting punked by my godson right now in the chat, but I just don't even know what he's saying.
I'm having a word with England right now.
Well, in fact, we're going to hear from England in a little
about right, Genius is
bit. Genius
here.
he's coming up
It's
soon.
too bad
We're
it's
gonna-
pre-recorded, or I'd
gonna
give
have
him a mouthful
We're going to have a. Oh, thanks for
of
spoiler
an
alert.
American mouthful.
Well,
Well, nobody really thinks, oh, are you wearing the same outfit? Did you wear the same outfit in the interview?
this is all ruined. I think
Because if you didn't, then they're not going to believe that it's happening right after
they're
this
gonna know.
interview. They're going to know it was pre-recorded.
They're gonna know.
But there's no shame in saying that something is pre-recorded.
there's no shame in the game.
Were you really
And
going
you
to
know
try
what?
to hide
You know what?
that
There is
fact?
shame in. I'm going to say there is shame in laugh tracks on a show that has no studio audience. and that's one thing, guys. We're not going to do that here. All the clapping you're going to hear is probably either going to come from Lucky or Riley. It's only guest-driven claps. So that's on Amplified. You are not going to get fake claps.
And no, you'll get the real clap
You
here
get
at
the- you get the real
Amplified.
clap
no,
here at
No
Amplified.
fake clap.
Oh, it looks like Beethoven.
But don't
just
worry,
joined the crowd.
the
Good to
clap
see you,
is one of
Beethoven.
the easy ones to get rid of. It's just some penicillin. Don't worry about it.
Speaking of penicillin, does anyone have any questions for Lucky Yates?
I'm
while we've
drinking
got you-
white label water.
He's drinking, White Lightning.
White label. I learned never give a sucker a free plug, but Coca-Cola Company, if you're watching and want to sponsor this program, your bottled water is
Coca-Cola, local favorite here in Atlanta.
Yeah, right here in the ATL, and your bottled water is wet.
Do we read the chat? Yes, we do read the chat. Greg, thanks for
Do
asking.
you guys
And,
read the chat? Wonder what is going on?
learning a little bit about
Oh, what
Prince,
the heck?
Prince Philip here.
He is definitely Tay Goat. Who are we talking about?
Oh,
there had to be somebody
Vicky
named
has a
Chuck.
question.
Mr. Lucky. Well, I like your godson's manners.
He does have good manners.
Although Mr. Lucky sounds like I own a Chinese restaurant, and I do not.
Yet. What is your favorite thing about Archer, Lucky?
Mr. Lucky's Chinese restaurant.
Your favorite thing?
What's my favorite thing about Archer?
in your tenure?
The
Or you have 12 years now.
the cast. Like we really are friends, and we are friends for life. We truly adore one another, and it might have something to do with us just being spread out all over the country. You know, we only get to see each other a few times a year.
At the cons?
Yeah, but we absolutely 100% just love one another. We love each other's company. We love doing things together. It's such a supportive, amazing group. We really are like a family. And
Right.
it is like a lot of shows go for that or say that that's the truth, but like for us, I know Bob's is the same way, but there are like our sister show, Bob's
Yeah.
Burgers.
Well, in the little time
and
I've
they're
spent on
they're
the
the
show.
same, where it's just like the
close-knit.
cast is just so tight as people, and getting to do a show together is just icing on the cake.
Well, especially here in like kind of a small town of Atlanta, it's like you go to the record and it's you, director,
Yeah,
producer,
right.
and like maybe another actor will come
Yeah,
in.
it's
on
me,
the
and they're
tail
my
end of the session.
buddies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my
pretty wild.
buddy Casey, who's executive producer of the show, I've known for 20 years. You know, like he's a good buddy of mine.
Yeah, it's not a huge big deal.
Yeah, it's just like I go joke around with my pals, and then, but when we go do that at a con, I should be talking to who asked that question?
That was Vicky.
Oh, Vicky. But when we go to a con, you know, we get to play together as real life people. It's great.
So
And we love
we
it.
got a couple. Thank you for answering this question.
You're welcome.
So Charlie Craver 23 wants to hear a dad joke.
He also asked what my favorite song is, but what's a dad joke? You want to hear a dad joke? Oh, Jesus, I don't have dad jokes right at the ready.
You're not quite there yet.
Well, I mean, like, I have never fathered a child that I know of.
We don't want him to do dirty jokes.
We
Not yet. We're
don't.
gonna
Yeah, what
save
kind
that.
of show is this? I've already dropped several F-bombs, Ben.
14 plus. Come on. We read the terms terms of agreement together, Lucky, in your first show. Remember we went
God, it
through
was
all
so
that?
boring.
Amazing. So you should know these things by the back of your hand now.
Praise Gladys. Hey, that happened live. You cannot bleep
Bless
that
you.
out. That
No,
happened
it's done.
right here.
Yeah, and we can actually
Loud
we'll
and proud.
be able to
people.
listen to it in a
Don't.
second.
That's my favorite song, by the way.
What
This Call of the Dodo. What? Tell you a dad joke. Hey.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what time is it when an elephant sits on your fence?
what time is it?
Time to move away from that janky zoo that keeps letting elephants escape.
That's a good one. Did you get that one, Charlie? Might take a minute to figure that one out.
That's a thinker. I'm 14, says Charlie. Well, then you made the cut, pal. Lucky, did you and Ben have a wardrobe discussion? We did not.
No. I actually kept him in the dark.
As he admonished me for earlier. You really ripped me a new one on that. But look at him. He's wearing an ascot, for Christ's sake. Had I known it was an ascot event,
Good to see you out there, Justin.
I would have worn.
Coming in hot.
I would have worn exactly the same thing. You got to be me. Greg says you look like you just came out of a National Treasure movie.
What's
As
a
the
national-
villain, as like a vaguely
What is a
European
national
villain.
treasure
National
movie?
Treasure is with Nicolas Cage, where
I'm
there
so-
are the Declaration of Independence, Ben,
Okay, so-
isn't just a declaration of independence for our nation. It's also a treasure map.
Well, just because I have a talk show doesn't mean I know a damn thing about anything. So that's what I just want to clear that right now. It was a childhood dream, and now all of a sudden there's
Apparently,
the
your
internet, so I
childhood
can have
dream
a
has
talk
never
show.
been involved watching amazing films like National Treasure
No.
and National
I've been-
Treasure 2.
Mostly stuck in a recording studio
Nick
for the past 20
Cage's-
years, looking at a windowless wall. But
Well, you know,
but it's been a good life.
it's
been
a good.
fun,
It's
and
a
it brought
good,
me here
It's
to
a good atmosphere for you.
now I have a talk show.
Look at you, really do.
So Lucky-
Celebrity guests.
I've got
Where
celebrity
are they?
guests,
Oh,
right-
genius! That's
right-
it.
right out of
and
the
Riley
gate.
Schatz. Riley Schatz has thousands of followers right here on volume.com. And if she doesn't, why not? Why aren't you going and following her right now? And while you're at it, follow this show. It's only got 2 followers, for Christ's sake. And
Lucky,
it's probably Ben and his lady friend. I'm
I've got-
sorry for outing you as,
I've got
as
well,
having a lady
her name's
friend.
Lauren Kelly. She's
Okay,
right
I
in the
didn't
chat.
want to give out names.
She has
I'm not going to go that far.
She has what I'm going to call the final question.
I'm already
to
letting-
give you a little context clue here as to
Well,
where we're
I guess
going with this show.
I guess this is a wrap up.
What was your childhood dream? This is coming from Lauren here in the
My
chat.
childhood dream was okay. There's
The
a,
one that you can
there,
share
there
for
is
14 and
there
over.
is a there are 2 answers to that. One is super. Then they're both genuine answers, but one is the sweet answer, and then one is one that's like kind of hilarious.
Okay.
The kind of
We're here
hilarious
for
one
both.
is I wanted to be a private investigator. I don't know, but I still have fantasies about being a private investigator. That is a thing that has stayed with me. But I'm just a fan of that genre of book and show
Right.
and film and all that kind of stuff. That sings to me. And
you
so,
landed.
like, I have always, but to that point, the other thing, my childhood dream was to be a guy on a cartoon, on a cool cartoon, and make that do that as a job. I've always wanted to be an actor, as long as I can remember wanting to actually have a job.
Right.
But I specifically wanted to be on cartoons.
Those are very specific.
And I made it.
That's unbelievable.
And it was just a bit of stick-to-itiveness and
Well, and lots
being
of
zen
training.
about life. Well, yeah, and plus I am constantly doing shows. And
Yeah,
I also work at, I studied theater in college, and I work at the best theater in town, Dad's Garage Theater.
Dad's Garage Theater. Shout out to Dad's Garage.
DadsGarage.com.
A wonderful place, a breeding ground for talent, which,
Oh,
what
and a
place
breeding ground for future generations, because we have a lot of sex with one another, and
It's a wonderful breeding ground.
bareback all the way.
Which
Sorry, Charlie.
Good reason why I called you here tonight, but that's
Good
another
thing you're
story.
14. Babies are made by fucking what?
On that note, what I'd like to say to our viewers here is that what's amazing about Lucky is, regardless of his stature as
My filth mouth.
as a comedian and a filthy mouth, this is a guy who, when I said, "Hey, Lucky, I got this show, I got to pull off, I'm doing it on short notice," he goes, "Man, I'm there. It's a Sunday night. I'm sure you could be doing other things." So I do have to say thank you, and
You're welcome.
And he showed up.
Let me be clear, though, that I thought you said I need to pull one off, which I thought you meant you were just
Right.
going to get on camera and
But
rub
you-
one
the
out.
thing
And I
is
was
you-
like, well, I'm going to come watch that.
But that's-
there are people there.
that's
And
the
then it
kind of guy
turned
you
into
are.
this, and I was like, oh, well, this is fine, too.
This is actually
That's
okay.
not true. That is not true. That's
But-
not true. I knew what Ben was doing. We had lengthy discussions. I'm very supportive of you, Ben, and I think
And you
this
showed
is
up.
an
Thank you.
excellent thing for you to do. And it couldn't have been more of an enjoyable experience. I'm sad that my time is up. But I told you I could talk forever.
Your time here has just
So
begun, my
tell
friend,
me-
because
Yeah,
you know,
I will be the guy. I will be. What's the guy that Letterman always had as an emergency? He always was bumping
emergency-
Bruno guy, but then there was always an emergency guy.
the
that
animal
they
guy,
called.
right? Jack?
Oh yeah.
Let's bring
Jack
out some
Hanna.
marsupials.
Jack Hanna.
You're my
Yeah,
marsupial
yeah,
now.
I'll bring some animals.
So, well, Lucky, thanks for being here.
Thank
and
you, Ben.
You have a lot going on.
You have a great show coming up. That Riley Schatz is really
We got
something
Riley
else.
Schatz coming
You
up.
should be following her right here on Volume.
Stay tuned, everybody, for the Duber Show. Lucky Yates
Oh
on
yeah, I'm gonna
volume.com.
do
He's
Duber
got
tonight.
a Duber show.
At some point, I'll do a Duber.
And we also have a lot to talk about with
Midnight
our
Duber.
improv murder mystery that we've got coming
Yes,
out.
we got to talk about
big
Murderberg
show.
at some point.
Murderberg's coming
and then
out
we're
soon
going to
on
have to
volume.com.
talk about Amplified, the spin-off of this show, which is a fried food review by Duber and Johnny Coldcock. Oh,
Yeah.
What?
So everybody, stay tuned for that. And
This show already has spin-offs, you guys.
no, it's exciting, and it's day one.
It's only the first episode, and we've already got spin-offs coming.
and my godson finally thinks I'm halfway cool because I brought you in as my first
let's
guest. So
not
I've got
get
that
carried
going for
away.
me.
He's here for me.
There we go. Well, Lucky, thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Thank you for
and
enjoying me.
all the pep talks and everything, and we look forward
Thank
to
you.
seeing more
I've
of
been
you.
a real delight.
You've been a great delight. I'm enjoying your show here. So stay tuned. I am going to go run into my Zoom room, and we have a very special guest coming from the United Kingdom. One of my favorite new streamers on Volume is a guy named Genius. So stay tuned for Genius, and we'll be right back.
There's no Zoom room. It's all pre-recorded.
See you soon. Calling Genius here. I might be a little nervous. Oh, there he is.
Hello, sir. How do you do?
Genius. Amazing. Good to see you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much indeed for having me on, mate. It's a real pleasure, and it's fantastic to finally meet you, my friend.
I know, man. Welcome to the first episode of Amplified.
Ah, God bless. Awesome to be here, man.
Yeah, wow. So, man, you just went camping. How was your trip?
I was absolutely amazing. Yeah, I took my two young children and my two nieces, and we went off in the forest for the night, and I was amazing. Campfire, nice food. You know, it was beautiful.
Oh, dude, yeah, I loved seeing the picture. It's awesome. I was jealous.
Oh, you'd have to come over. I've still been waiting for the taxi to turn up. It's been delayed a few times now.
I just got to say for our viewers and to you, like when I first clicked on your stream, I was like, man, what the heck is this? And I sat in there, and I gotta say, like I've definitely invested a good 4 to 5 hours in your streams over the past couple of weeks. And it's just been so much fun, and so I'll never forget clicking in there and watching, kind of going, okay, what the heck is this? And then, like, dude, your energy and your like camaraderie and the kinship I felt after 5 minutes of watching your stream was just undeniable. So I just, cheers to you for just following through and having a good time, man, because it's infectious.
Oh, God bless. I take my hat off to you, my friend. I really do. It's such kind words. I mean, at the end of the day, my message really is all about is just having a good time, being grateful for where we are in this universe, this time, this place, and the pleasure that music can bring. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. And to, of course, have you in the Genius Bar by the Outsider is, it's a real pleasure for me to have you all in every night. It's fantastic.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, as a musician, and how did you find Volume, and what sort of, I want to learn more about Triple Shot and Adam and Ray and all your mates and how did you get here?
So I've first started playing guitar when I was at school. I was about 11 years of age. And I played it for a couple of years, and, you become a teenager and you give it up and all the rest of it. And, you go off doing lots of things. And I picked it up again when I was 20 and started playing and really loved it, especially sort of country and Western music in particular. I really enjoy, and some of the old great 60s numbers, some of the nice fast tempo songs.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely love them, and I sort of during lockdown I sort of built up the courage, and I thought, let's have a look about, let's see what I could do for some fun, and I found volume.com, and that brings me, of course, to my good friends Adam and Ray as well.
Yeah.
Make up Triple Shot. We met sort of about between 8 and 10 years ago, respectively. I met Ray first and then Adam. And it was through dropping our kids off at the same school. We just
cool.
Had odd chats here and there and developed a friendship. And, we all started practicing playing and sort of developed from there, really. Adam in particular, bless him, he never sang for years. He was 32 when he started to sing after his brother passed away, who was sort of the musician of the family.
Okay.
And he sort of went out with his friends and all the rest of it. And one night decided to sing and realised he could sing. And ever since that day, he's picked up the guitar, and he's absolutely... he's an amazing vocalist in my opinion.
Yeah, he's got a really, really cool top end to him, and
he's incredible. When he sings songs like "Creep," it just sends chills down my spine.
Yeah, you got to go for a song like that. You can't half-ass it.
No, oh hell no. Yeah, you either smash it or you destroy it. And he smashes it every time. And through our sort of our joint friendships, we've just developed this real close bond, and we're almost, the three of us are like brothers. We're inseparable now, and once a week we love to come up here and put on a good show. And I obviously do shows on my own during the week, but once a week we come up here and we just absolutely love it. The energy's great, and we know from, people such as yourself and all the other viewers how much you all enjoy it, and it means the world to us. It's fantastic that we can spread some joy through some music, and it gives us the time of our life. It's fantastic.
Man, I get chills even hearing you say that, because like it's amazing to me where you know, people get hung up on, oh, how many people are in the room and well, how much money's flowing and all this kind of stuff. And all that's great. And this is not like a company line, but like to think that I stumbled into your room a couple weeks ago. And I'll never forget sitting on the couch with my girlfriend, and we were just so pulled in, of course. And then, you know, like I said, I started riffing with you, and the fact that like my sarcasm and my sense of humor translated across the ocean, and you were just right there with me, lockstep, like just the imagination, and also like you didn't skip a beat. And I was just like, man, this guy is all over this thing. What a hero. And you know, I just can't express how much fun I've had.
So kind. So kind.
Yeah, and just again, I'm kind of repeating myself, but like the camaraderie and that sort of fearlessness that you guys have together. And you know, I ran to the fridge and I had to get a beer because I was like, I wanted to be there. Yeah,
Yes.
we're a couple hours apart. I'm on the coffee still, but yeah, cheers to you. But
Cheers.
man, it was so infectious, and you know, that kind of what I really loved is after that first stream when you took the stream down, because I think I wore you guys out until like 2 or 3 in the morning, and you know, you were fulfilling my requests, and when you pulled the stream down and then you started playing your original music, I just thought that was so brilliant, and not as like a trick or a sleight of hand, but I was like, man, this is awesome because this guy's actually got some other stuff, and this is just fun. And so tell me a little bit about like, and of course the Beer Belly song is my theme song now, like for probably this whole year. It's sort of a COVID retrospective song. I told Lauren this morning, she's like, that's like a theme song. Like what? So, tell me a little bit about that song and like your process of creating and recording and you know, sort of what you do in music and life when you're not streaming.
Well, first of all, what you did to that track today, and I know we're going to share it with the viewers.
Yeah, we're going to roll it during the show.
That's made it 100% proof. It's absolutely fantastic. So originally, that was a track performed by a band called Chaz and Dave.
Okay.
And I made my own variation of the backing track and laid down my own vocals. I've got sort of Adam, as you know, is so fantastic at the high range, and I can be rather good at the sort of mid to lower range, and that sort of that Cockney style I really love, you know, and I've got a love for ragtime music and stuff like that as well. You know, it's the most enjoyable music in the world. So, led down the backing track, and it took me a few weeks. I was using Cubase AI, but yeah, the track came along simply out of you know, a pure love for that sort of music.
Yeah.
Chaz and Dave traditionally they were pure piano and drum backing tracks. So, you know, I've used a lot of MIDI VST instruments and things like Cubase to compile it all, etc. And then laying down the vocals, of course, as we all do. Mm-hmm. I put in a few little effects here and there, you know, just to sweeten it up just a little bit. But no, I love that sort of music. You know, it's fun music. Music is the power, I think, to take you to, you know, if you're in that sort of mood, into a sad place or into a okay place or to the stratosphere. I mean, I remember the first time I listened to bands such as, you know, Genesis and Rick Wakeman and Pink Floyd. You know, they took me to another place. Yeah, it was almost like I'd, you know, I never have, but you know, consumed a substance of some sort. You know, is that surreal? You know, the effect that just pure sound waves can have on you, and that music really strikes a key with me, and I love it, because if we're not here for a good time, what are we here for?
Well, and that's like, you know, I was saying, I really think you're the international ambassador of a good time, and like, it's, you know, it just seems to be such a natural thing for you, and me being ignorant to sort of British folk music and stuff, I am fascinated, and I think you've shared this as far as your influence go, the connection between the UK and America in the trade between our pop music and our folk music, and it all kind of like there's certain British music that I think Americans think is American, and the inverse, and we've kind of been trading it back and forth for so
Absolutely.
long.
Yeah.
Listening to that song Beer Belly, like there is so much there's just enough of a different British like sensibility, if that's even the right way to say it, or you use the word Cockney, that was fun for me to throw some dobro in there and to add like the 3-part harmony, almost like envisioning or imagining that I was Adam and Ray, and I kind of put it together like that with you to do a trio. But to throw a little bit of that dobro in there, it was like, hey, here's a little bit of an American kind of influence, and to me, that's sort of the magic when you can bring these sensibilities together. And you're hearing something in the song that you wouldn't have imagined, and I'm playing a song that is kind of unfamiliar to me as far as the chord changes and just the general, that kind of pubby vibe. It was just so fun to put some time into that.
It was absolutely awesome. I mean, the combination, as you say, of the two different styles across the oceans, all sharing different little tidbits. It was absolutely amazing. And I'd like to say to you, mate, you're extremely far more creative than I certainly was, and you absolutely blew me away. What you did to that track is amazing.
So you were sitting around the fire when you pulled that up with your kids and stuff?
Yeah, that was at about 3:20 this morning. It came through. They were still awake. They didn't go to sleep till 4:30.
Oh man, cool.
So I've been up for about 30 hours, but we rock on. No, we've got a show tonight as well. So
oh yeah, cool. So this is Saturday, right? So that's when you guys usually get together.
Yes, yeah. We usually do every Saturday, and
that's so fun.
We love it. We love it. I mean, what is music if you can't have the fun, the joy, and sharing it? And it's amazing.
When again did you guys start doing the streams? When you put Triple Shot together?
So Triple Shot, we've been playing sort of together off and on for probably about 8 years now.
Okay.
But streaming has literally come since the lockdown.
Right.
So I mean, obviously, prior to that, we used to meet up very regularly and play all the time, and then you couldn't socialise and all the rest of it. And I personally, I thought, what can we do, together? What can we do once we're able to meet together again?
Sure.
And a volume came up, and what a marvelous platform. I mean, people from all over the world. I've made friends in China, Canada, Australia.
Just in a matter of a couple of weeks, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's amazing. I've also had a friend over in Poland who's done a Glenn Campbell track with myself.
So you have been sharing other tracks around and stuff too. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. So I mean, a global reach. I mean, it's mad.
It's an extrovert's dream, in a sense. Like if you're the kind of person who puts him or herself out there and is open, it can be a dangerous place as well. If you're not prepared to engage, or both, you have to learn how to kind of have a healthy wall,
Yeah.
And I think there's tips and tricks for people to kind of enjoy that as well. But yeah, for me, it's kind of infectious, and it brings me back almost to like when I first was ever in a chat room, like AOL chat room years ago, and
MSN Messenger.
Totally. And you're like talking to some random person, and you might develop a friendship. It might just be 5 minutes of entertainment or whatever, but I do remember that being kind of infectious in a sense. And I've always had such a curiosity just about the humanities of it, for instance, like what is your day to day like during the week? Where do you spend your time, or what's it like where you live? All these kind of things.
Good questions. Yeah, first of all, I'd just like to say you're absolutely right. To be able to connect on that human level is very it's very powerful.
It is.
And well, it means a lot to everyone. It truly does. So what an amazing platform we've got, truly, how we can connect like that, especially in times when we can't be always together.
Even under the best case scenario, we can't just hang out, when we want to or whatever, just go to the pub. So it truly does offer, again, it's not a sales line, but like I've found myself really getting pulled into it just personally outside of, the work that I need to do and learning about how to develop the product and what people are looking for inside of it. So these kind of conversations really help me to kind of understand how everyone's dealing with it and figuring it out, and also like trying to harness the power of it in and outside of the platform. Like, someone like yourself is kind of the poster child of like, you sent me that track and you kind of gave me the challenge of like, dude, if you sing on this, I'll play it on my show. And I was like, well, hell yeah, I'll sing on this thing. Music's the only sport I've ever competed at. So all right, man, game on.
So my stage name is Genius. That comes from my dad calling me Genius when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
My name is Gene, like Gene Roddenberry, So yeah, Gene Genius. I'll take it,
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll take it. And I live in the UK, right down on the south coast, as far as you can go. I could just 2 miles down the road, I can get the ferry to the Isle of Wight. That's how south.
Oh, amazing. So
it's really nice, really lucky where we live. We've got sea views just a mile up the road. Beautiful place, So my career, I've been a community care worker, looking after the elderly and disabled people.
Wow.
That's what I do day to day as a career. I really enjoy it. I've got 5 kids, 4 girls, 1 boy.
Cool.
Got the boy in the end, and loving life really, mate. Truly and honestly, in my spare time, we can't go to pubs, we can't do anything else, and I'll show you in just a moment what I've invested in. Well,
yeah,
through support, through volume and things like that, has helped pay for. Show you, what you can achieve, and if anyone out there is watching this, thinks, is it for me? Is it not for me? Go for it. Everybody is nice out there. Everybody is lovely out there. And if you enjoy it, that's all that matters,
Amen, dude.
People will love it, If you're having a good time, other people will have a good time,
You make it so easy, That's what I love about you, man. You just make it seem so easy, and it doesn't have to be hard.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. John the barman's knocking about somewhere. John, get over, stop mucking about, mate. Come on, we've got drinks to serve.
Come on, John. Get out of the walk-in freezer, man. We know what you're doing back there.
Okay, so I think if I go, where are we?
Speaking of pubs, what's your favorite drink?
My favourite drink? Well, I do like a French lager.
Okay.
So I like Stella. That's a nice beverage.
Good choice.
But probably when Adam gets here tonight, he will probably bring his usual, which is a nice bottle of bourbon or a nice bottle of vodka. I mean, that's part of the enjoyment as well. We're having a party and a fun, and I know that atmosphere comes over. And we just love rocking out, having fun, and just enjoying ourselves.
When I caught that first stream, I was like, again, so taken by it. And I immediately started texting the link to some of my best buddies from high school. And my one in particular. And it was like when I saw you and Adam getting on, I was just having these flashbacks to when my friend Dave Goodrow and I went to Spain when we were 16. And like, we just freaked out because as Americans, you can't, like, the alcohol laws are really restrictive until you're 21. And of course, over in Europe, they allow people, it's just more part of the culture, and people have a little better handle on it, I think, at a young age.
That's right.
But we freaked out, of course, and had such a great time. But it's just, I threw him in the chat room, and then it was like, oh, all right, I got my buddy Dave in here, and everyone's hanging out. So, gosh, it really is infectious.
That's awesome. So this is my sort of shed, if you like, in my garden. It's one I built myself a few years ago. And we've now got, so this is my setup. We've got,
cool, man.
We've got 6 screens running on it most of the time.
Amazing.
We use them for various different things. Do you want me to give you a little rundown of the equipment I use?
Man, I would love that. I think it's really interesting to me, and I think it's interesting for our other, compadres out there who want to aspire to do something as amazing as what you've got going on. So yeah, sure.
Oh, bless you, mate. No worries at all. So I use it's a Behringer X1204 USB Xenix mixer.
Yep.
It's very affordable actually. That one is about $130. It's 12 inputs, USB interface, and if you link that with this monitor that's running over there is ASIO Link Pro, you can then do your full loopback feature, so you can sing along with your backing tracks or do whatever you want with no latency.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's a very good bit of kit. I obviously I am a fan of OBS, and that's got a great deal of flexibility. You can do lots of things with OBS. Not only can you use it as it comes stock, oh, there you are, but you can. There's a vast amounts of different plugins that can adapt what OBS can do. So you can get ones that increase the amount of features, such as the codecs that are used to encode the video.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You can get, for example, a transition matrix, so you can choose all your individual scenes. You can even get ones that will enable you to string to, however many different addresses that you wish to.
Oh, right, yeah, sure.
Some people, can spend a lot of money using different services, but you don't really need to if you know where to look.
Right, man. They don't call you genius for nothing. This is great.
So my background that you see, which is sort of my space scene, if you like.
Yeah.
What do I do for that? That's running on this monitor. That's an individual program. That's called Aeon Platinum. It's by a company called Sound Spectrum. It's $30. But what it is it's a 3D visualization of any audio input. And it's full direct 3D capable. And it's got some amazing different effects like this one here you can see on the screen. They're fantastic,
Yeah. No, that's cool.
They're great. I then use the other monitors for monitoring the chat on volume. I use the tablet for pulling up my guitar chords. I use the other screens here for if I want to stream something from another site such as YouTube, something like that, play in the background. Yeah, there you are again. Hello, mate. To help assist with all the different scenes that I use.
There you go, yep.
I've got a Stream Deck. That's very reasonably priced as well. It's about $120, I think. And that enables you, these are individual LCD displays, and you can label them and they can do anything that you imagine they can do. So switch scenes, transitions, sources, anything.
Man, that's so cool.
And that's great, tap, tap, tap. What else? I use Shure SM58 microphones. They are about $90 each, but they are industry standard.
Yeah,
and
indestructible, and they'll take about as much beer as you can pour on them and still work.
Exactly that. So the Genius Bar, I hate to break it to you, is actually
yes
a green sheet hanging behind me. So that's illuminated by 2 LED strip lights.
That's so cool.
And then in the foreground, we've got 2 other LED matrix lights, which also illuminate the scene. But that is the only way that you will get a realistic, believable green screen effect without it looking dodgy.
So you've got it all lit up so that when you chroma key it out, it's still,
Exactly.
the shadows are right and you're not, it's not all blown out. That's really sharp, man.
I use a bit of a novel way of doing my main camera. So I don't know if you can see on my screen there, that box. So that's me. And that's using an application called Droid Cam. And I actually use the camera off my Galaxy Note phone because it's an exceptional camera. I'll be honest with you, this in my hand here is a Logitech C920. It's a very expensive webcam and it's rated as one of the best in the world.
Okay.
My smartphone camera has got better exposure than this webcam. So if you've got an Android phone, this app is well worth a try. If you're having issues with getting green screen looking great, this app's about $5 and it just connects via USB straight to the PC. And off it goes. It's coming straight through 60 frames a second, full HD.
Really cool, man.
That's about it for the setup, hardware wise.
That's amazing, man. Thanks for the private tour of the Genius Bar behind the scenes. Unbelievable, man.
Most welcome.
It's so much more complicated and amazing than I imagined. You should be very proud of that.
Oh, I do love it.
Talk about going all in, man. What a commitment. That's so great. It's no wonder those guys love coming over, man. They come over to the spaceship and set sail.
Love it. We've had a couple of times Adam's come over and he's knocked the monitors over because every other week I've been moving them about and he's forgotten where I put them.
You got to keep it the same for him so he knows what he's getting into. Gene, man, what a treat to have a chat today. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out and for being so responsive and so enthusiastic.
The pleasure's been all mine. It truly has. It's been amazing.
I think you are really a genius and you live up to your name as far as I'm concerned.
You're too kind, brother. I really appreciate that. And we just try and have fun, and thank you so much to all of you guys. You're the ones who count, it's fantastic.
Well, man, we look forward to seeing you out there and I should let you go so you can prepare for tonight's big show and look forward to seeing you in the chat. And man, looking forward to continuing this friendship across the coast and I can't wait to get over there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Brothers across the ocean. Absolutely.
You got it. I'll find a good taxi company one of these days.
Good man. Yeah, make sure you do.
Gene, thanks for everything. We'll see you soon and enjoy the ride, my friend.
Cheers, Ben. Take care. All the best. One of them hopeless cases, I'm ashamed to say. Got a job to tie my laces, my belly gets in the way. And I get puffed out on the disco floor, I can't do me trousers up no more. I took up wearing braces, cause a belt gets in the way. Now none of my shirts won't fit me, they all keep coming undone. My mates all take the mickey, believe me, ain't much fun. When you get puffed down on the disco floor and you can't do your trousers up no more, and you all swan about with crumpets, but me, I can't get none. Cause I'm developing a beer belly, and I don't reckon it at all. I'm developing a beer belly, my trousers seem too small. My trousers are too small. And I get roughed down on the disco floor, I can't do me trousers up no more. I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly. I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly. Now I know that I could lose it if I really tried, I suppose. But I can't leave the beer alone, that's how the story goes. And I get puffed down on the disco floor. I can't do me trousers up no more. My mates all swan about the crumpets, and me, I can't get none. 'Cause I'm developing a beer belly, and I don't reckon it at all. I'm developing a beer belly, my trousers seem too small. My trousers are too small. And I get puffed down on the disco floor. I can't do me trousers up no more. 'Cause I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly. I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly. I'm developing a beer belly, and I don't reckon it at all. I'm developing a beer belly. My trousers seem too small. My trousers are too small. I get puffed down the disco floor. I can't do me trousers up no more. 'Cause I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly. I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly. I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly. I'm developing a beer belly, belly, beer belly, 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 beer belly.
Wow, what a legend Mr. Gene Genius is. That interview was so much fun. I don't know if you noticed, but I was absolutely a little nervous and starstruck going into it because I've been spending so much time hanging out with this guy over the past couple weeks. But oh man, so thank you, Gene, for joining us in the show, and you're so much fun. So right now we're gonna transition here to our very special musical guest live in studio, Miss Riley Schatz. And Riley is someone very near and dear to my heart. I've been working with her since she was 15 years old. I think one of her very first recording projects, she came to the studio, and I'm very lucky as well that she's such a forgiving friend to come join me on our maiden voyage of this show. So you know, it's really with great pride that I introduce you guys to Riley. She's been streaming very regularly on Volume, and I'm really happy to have her here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Riley Schatz.
Hi.
Riley is a very interesting artist because she has spent some time deep diving into Greek mythology, and she has prepared a suite of music about these characters and her sort of fascination with them. So I'm going to leave the stage to Riley to tell us about her work as a songwriter and about her fascinations with mythology and everything that she's got coming up ahead. So ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Riley Schatz.
Hello, I'm Riley Schatz. I am in Atlanta, born and raised and current resident of singer-songwriter. I'm 23 years old. I just graduated from Kennesaw State University a couple years ago from their theater program, Theater and Performance Studies. And I'm currently working as a children's theater music writer and teacher. And I'm having a lot of fun with that. But on the side, I should say this is kind of, they share a space in my heart. I write music for myself to perform on here and in other wonderful venues. And I mainly focus, like Ben said, on Greek mythology. It seems to be a topic that pops up a lot when I write. And I don't know, when I was little, I learned about it in school, and then I read a lot of books based in it growing up, and then I just started studying it more. I read the Odyssey in high school, you know, and like really got interested in all of the different stories that make up the pantheon that is mythology. And I mainly focus on the women in mythology when I'm writing. It seems to be the trend for me. I tend to tap into their stories and try to tell stories using their voices. And I've written songs from the perspective of various women in Greek mythology, because I feel like they don't often have a voice in the stories that we're told, in the myths that we kind of perpetuate as we go on through life, because they're ancient. And so these women, they're often the victims of these stories. Something terrible happens to them, or they accidentally cause something terrible, or people cause terrible things to them, or do terrible things to them. And they don't often get the focus of the story. They don't often get the limelight, I guess. And their voices aren't often heard. And it's honestly a common theme, a common metaphor, to have a voice taken away. For these women, they're not listened to, they're left behind, they're ignored, their voices are physically taken away magically. It's actually really kind of depressing, and it's very present in Greek mythology. And so after a while, realized that I could give a voice to these women who don't have voices. And I think it's a super important, kind of life metaphor that I've settled into. I think that women have very, very important voices in society, and I think that isn't different. Greek mythology, is ancient, like I said before, and women back then didn't have voices, and now women today are still struggling to be listened to and struggling to be heard, and I want to make sure that women can be heard, and women like myself, and that's why I like singing for y'all, to make sure that, my voice can be heard, and other women like me who are trying to make it out there as performers, or just trying to make a difference in the world, however they can. And I also just really like Greek mythology. I just find it interesting. And so I'm going to sing you guys some songs about Greek mythology, specifically from the point of view of the women who need to have their stories told more often from their point of view. So the first song I'm going to sing to you, it's called Narcissus, and it's kind of self-explanatory. Let me make sure I'm tuned first. So Narcissus is a song I wrote a long time ago, actually. And it is the story, one moment please. It's the story of Echo. Echo was a mountain nymph who lived in Mount Kithyron. And this terrible fate befell her. She ended up mixed up in some convoluted scheme of Zeus's, as people and creatures often do. So Zeus's wife Hera cursed her. She took away her voice and made it so Echo could only say the things that were spoken to her. She could only echo, hence the term echo. That's kind of where it came from. And Echo was in love with a beautiful man. His name was Narcissus. And he was blessed by the gods with beauty. And this was a blessing and a curse. It was his hubris. He was cursed to fall in love with his own reflection. So he stared into a lake on Mount Kithyron, and he was doomed to remain there withering away until nothing of him remained but a small yellow flower. I found out a couple years ago that it's actually a daffodil. They share a name. Narcissus wilted away into nothing, so did Echo. For so in love was she that she would not leave his side, and she couldn't say anything to him unless he spoke aloud, due to her curse. And so she withered away until she was nothing more than the sound of the echoes heard on that mountain. So I wrote this song to give her a voice, and to kind of say what she would have said if she could. I don't understand how you can see that
protect, to shield and defend. But no, I'm just an echo in your ear. Oh no, 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 I'm too quiet for you to hear. So that was my song Narcissus. It's one of the first songs I wrote about Greek mythology. But I kept writing after that, obviously. And I don't know, that song is just very near and dear to my heart. I often play it on here. So if you want to follow me and hear more songs about Greek mythology on Volume, I go by Riley Schatz Sings, RileyschatzSings. So look me up and give me a follow. I'm probably going to be playing sometime this week. I try to play more than once a week. It's quite fun for me. And I sometimes play with my dad as well. I want to play with Ben at some time soon as well. Let me see. What do I want to do next? I have 2 more songs I'm thinking about doing. Maybe more if time allows. But yeah. I think I'll do, I'll tell you guys a little story about another woman in Greek mythology. This woman was a princess. She was the princess of Arcadia, and her father was the king, and he wanted her to get married. Make some alliance with some neighboring kingdom, marry her off to some prince or duke or some other kind of suitor. But she didn't really want to get married. It wasn't really her thing. You know, maybe she just wasn't ready. Maybe she just didn't want to. But, you know, due to the times, due to the patriarchy, due to the fact that she was born into a royal family, she kind of had to. Her dad was like, yeah, you gotta get married. And she's like, I really don't want to. And he's like, well, you have to. You do what I say. She was like, fine. But if I have to get married, why don't we make this interesting? Why don't we make this a little game? A kind of contest. You could call it a bet. We could host a race, and whoever wins can win my hand. My father was like, I like the sound of that, you know. Friendly competition, a little tourism. Wouldn't hurt the economy. If anything, it would just make their kingdom a little more popular, make their princess a little more wanted. So he was like, sure. Sounds cool. We'll have a race, and whoever wins will win your hand. And she was like, awesome. I really didn't think he would agree. And he was thinking in the back of his head that no one would pass on a chance to beat her because it would be easy to. She was a girl, you know. But what he didn't know, for some reason, is that his daughter was blessed by the gods with grace and speed and agility, and no man or animal or god could outrun her unless they cheated. And that's another story for another time, or another song. So he agreed, not knowing of this blessing. And she said, great, I'll go stretch. And so men from far and wide came to try to race against her, to compete for her hand, and she was like, all right, it's the day of the race. I want to make this interesting. You know, if they win, they can have my hand. They can marry me. But if I win, I get to kill them. So you want to win my affection? Well, you started off in the right direction. It'll take more than just a good start to win this particular heart. I first and foremost a winner. I need boys like you up for dinner, so you can try and cross my path. I guarantee you'll end up last, 'cause they call me Atalanta, and I'm one step ahead of you. Yeah, they call me Atalanta, and there's not much you can do. You tried, Gold Star, so close, but no cigar. I don't have the time for distractions. I can't waste a minute, not a fraction of my time. So you can try and be your goal. You can throw your apples gold, but they call me Atalanta, and I'm one step ahead of you. Yeah, they call me Atalanta, and there's not much you can do. You tried, Gold Star, so close, and I am not a prize to be won. But if I was, you would never win it. And in this little race that we have run, I'm too far ahead. I'm already finished. You're too far behind. I've crossed the finish line. Oh, 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 they call me Atalanta, and I'm one step ahead of you. They call me Atalanta, and there's not much you can do. No, there's not much you can do. You try, Gold Star, so close, but no cigar. No cigar, oh, no cigar. That was that was so cool in this space. I'm usually in my living room and like the sound is super condensed and like my dog's here and my neighbors are sleeping, so I'm like, you try, Gold Star, and it's not as cool as this space. Let me drink some water. That was my song Atalanta, not to be confused with Atlanta. Though I should probably do more research on that. I'm wondering if the city was named after her. Yeah.
Somebody spelled it wrong.
I mean, like, we've got, like, Rome, Georgia. We've got Athens. I'm sure somewhere Atlanta. I know this was initially called Terminus, which is also very Greek Roman-y sounding. Should probably study up on this before I talk about it.
Before you make yourself an expert.
Yeah. Not an expert. I'm just learning. I just have fun.
Documentarian.
Yeah. A fan. I'm a fan of Greek mythology. This next song I'm going to play you is the first song I wrote about Greek mythology. So it has a special little place in my heart, as does the woman I wrote it about. She has a very sad little fate, and nobody talks about her. Nobody talks about her, and I'm like, why? Her story is so interesting. She's like married to a demigod, and then she's later married to a god.
And like nobody talks about that, and I want people to talk about that more. So I'm gonna sing about her, so maybe you know a little bit more about my girl Ariadne. I had the opportunity to perform a song for a class at Kennesaw State University. They were talking about Greek mythology, and one of my professors of previous years, she asked me to sing over Zoom during the great Zoom schooling of 2020. And so I wrote a little intro for my song, Ariadne. A little bit of storytelling for you. And I think I'm going to try to do that for all of my songs. So stay tuned and follow me at Riley Schatz Sings if you want to see more little intros pop up for my songs. A little more organized than my previous ones. So this is Ariadne and the prologue. There's a girl named Ariadne, the princess of Crete. She was the daughter of King Minos, who ruled over a kingdom with a maze underneath, and the maze was called a labyrinth. And inside Ariadne's half-brother dwelled, half-brother, half-man, half-bull, a monster, or so it was said by those who lived to tell. And I feel kind of bad, because it really wasn't his fault, you know, the Minotaur, that he was born the Minotaur. His mother had relations with a bull, and that's how he came to be. It's probably Zeus in disguise, because it's always Zeus. But anyway, I feel bad for him, because he didn't choose to be a bloodthirsty monster. That wasn't like his decision. He didn't choose to like crave the human flesh, you know, blood. And he didn't ask to be like stuffed into a ever-changing, maddening maze underneath the kingdom by his stepfather, I guess. And yet, that was his fate. And I always wonder, but thank you, Josh. I always wonder how he felt about that. He's probably like a baby, too. Just kind of sad, you know. Anyway, they had to feed him. Once again, this king was probably thinking about tourism. I think that's very strange. All these things happening probably because they want money. Attention from the gods, from people. And so, to sate the beast, King Minos kept him in the labyrinth. And he ordered the kingdoms from around the world to have their strongest men and women sent to try and best the maze and try and best the beast without going crazy or getting lost or getting eaten. And it seemed an impossible task until Theseus came at last. And Theseus was this demigod. And Ariadne saw him get off the boat, one of the 10 sacrifices of the year, or the month or something, maybe the week. And she was like, oh my God, he's really hot. Like, he's really hot. Like, he's half god. He's really hot. Because, you know, like, demigods. She was like, I think I'm going to help him. Because maybe if I help him, maybe he'll, like, want to marry me. We can, like, run away from this crazy island. We can run away from my crazy family. We can run away from my bloodthirsty brother. And, like, we can, like, go on a boat and travel the world together. It'd be so cool. Maybe if I help him. So she found this, like, magic ball of twine. She gave it to Theseus. She's like, hey, like, if you hold on to this, I'll hold on to the other end. You can go in the maze and you won't get lost. And since you're a demigod, you're probably gonna kill him. You know, it's kind of sad. It's my brother that I'm talking about. But anyway, you know, you can find your way back here to me. He was like, that's cool. She's kind of cute. Maybe I'll marry her. Maybe we'll like run away and elope and go on a boat or something. I don't know. And so she stood and she waited. And she waited as he unwound the twine. And somewhere in the middle of that, he slayed the beast. For he was a demigod, blessed with strength and speed. There's a trend going here, I guess. And he wished Ariadne away. They eloped, and they sailed round the world together on his boat. And he said he would never leave her,
He abandoned her on an island, and she cried. What was she thinking on that island all alone, having been left behind by the only man she ever loved, the only love she'd ever known? So I wrote this song to kind of say what was probably going on inside her head. Ariadne, they said, you don't have to wait anymore. Ariadne, they said, turn your face away from the door. Gotta move on with your life. Stop moping around, pacing the floor. Ariadne, Ariadne, they say, your first love will not be your last. Ariadne, they say, that boy is a thing of the past. There are better things in life for you to dream of. A boy with a ball of string, so keep your chin up. Ariadne, they said, you left all the monsters back there. Ariadne, they said, there's nothing for you to be scared of. Your father's lost his mind inside of the labyrinth. If you still want to be sane, forget about it. Ariadne, Ariadne. Yeah, I love the acoustics in here. They're so cool. Yeah, so there's like 3 of the songs out of like, I think I've written like a weird amount of songs. I stopped counting at some point. It's like over 50, kind of scary amount. And I don't know. I think I have like 10 or 12 or something about Greek mythology, and I don't know. I'm probably gonna keep writing them. I have ideas for more. So.
How many do you think are possible?
Oh my God, there's so many myths. Like the cool thing about mythology is like, it doesn't have to just be Greek mythology. It can be like anything. It can be I think, I don't know, I took this world mythology class in college, and like I learned all about Finnish mythology, and people were telling stories about Russian mythology, and there's also Roman mythology, and there's, I don't know, there's just mythology from everywhere. And so like there is an endless amount of source material for music like this. So if anybody else like wants to join me in my little niche, there's a lot of room. And I just love it. I have like, I don't know, I have so many songs about these cool women, and then also just about other things in Greek mythology, and some songs that are just loosely based on Greek myths, and other songs that I just aren't about Greek mythology at all. And I still have fun writing those too.
Just life.
So, just life. Just life. Fictional and non-fictional. Non-fiction? No? Yeah.
All
Yeah.
fiction. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Is there anything else that you have to might want to say to our viewers, or anything else you might want to talk about that's coming up
I
for you,
mean,
or any stream shows you might have planned?
I'm probably going to stream soon. I promised a lot of people that I would learn some songs
You
that
got
they.
homework?
Yeah, I have homework. I have to listen to some songs. I got to learn some songs. I got to learn how to play them, and I've got to figure out how I want to play them. But then I'm also probably going to do some themed nights coming up. I'll probably do a Greek mythology night. I'll probably do like an 80s night, maybe a fairy tale night, maybe just a night where I just sing songs that all start with the letter B. I don't know. I'll figure it out now that I've got more time on my hands. And I don't know. I really like volume. It's so cool. So thank you for telling me about it.
Yeah. of
Yeah.
course. Thanks for all the jamming and stuff.
Yeah,
So
it's been really
we love
fun.
having you.
Yeah, I love being here. It's super cool. I like being here too. It's
Yeah.
really
Well,
fun.
welcome to the kickoff.
Woohoo!
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Riley.
Yeah,
It's
thank
been
you.
good having you.
Yeah.
We're going to transition now, I think, to the close of our show. And I'm going to pull my ascot down
Ooh, I'm gonna try
so you can mask up.
masking up.
We really appreciate everybody joining us tonight. And what a heck of a kickoff. A wild little ride of a show that we put together in the past couple of days. The studio that we built this afternoon. I'd like to give a special thanks to our producer, Jamie Cones, for all the great camera work and all the assist in setting up the show and everything. So really appreciate you guys being here. We're going to conclude this night. We have a lot more to come, so please stay tuned. Be sure to follow us and get a notification of when our next show is going to be. We're going to try to broadcast every Sunday night, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Send us a message, volume.com/amplified. Be sure to join, get a Volume account so you can join us in the chat and have some fun. It's been quite a ride these past couple weeks since we've launched the website, and we're all having a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining us. We're now going to try a new feature that we launched, I think, earlier this week. It's called the Rush the Stage feature. We're going to join our friend Maximilian from the Main Squeeze. He's got a show going on right now. So Jamie's going to roll the credits. I'm going to get out of the way, and then we're going to go. We'll see you in Max's room for a little show. He's a fantastic guitar player. He's a guitar player for the Main Squeeze. They're out in California. They're also just prolific Volume artists, and so we're going to enjoy some of them. So thank you so much for joining us this week on our first episode of Amplified, and we'll see you out there in the chat. Good night.